tapered right for the meet. All four of them tapered right for the meet. You feel that they could probably go below 318, maybe even sub 317. Who knows?
I think so. Very possible, right? And I think if they spend more time together training training with one another, they also can practice their relay starts. So I think obviously we know that Joe and Zheng go to school in the US, Darren goes to school in the UK. So they haven't had much time to gel as a team and to work on their relay takeovers. So obviously with this competition, as I mentioned earlier, is them versus the clock. So they have very, very safe relay takeovers. But you know, if they're going to go to the try and make the Olympic finals or get a medal at the next Asian Games, they're going to have to practice a lot of these starts because they cannot be doing safe starts during those races because it's them competing against other people, right? So you know, I think that they have a lot of room to improve, particularly on those relay takeovers.
Right, for Singapore, of course, a lot of questions were asked about whether Joe's up for the SEA Games now that he's achieved the Olympic Games, bronze medals at the World Championships. How does he get up for it? Well, I can tell you one of the things that he gets up for in being at the SEA Games is in the relay squad. That's what it is. Milan Kui, the chef de mission, giving out the medals this time out, but being in the relay squad, leading the team off, and being team captain as well of the male side. I mean, this is what Joseph Schooling is doing right here at the SEA Games because the relay means everything to him here.
Of course, I mean, everyone says swimming is not a team sport, right? So the relay is as close to a team sport as you can get. It just brings out the best in everyone. And even with Zheng Wen, right? I think the SEA Games is not much of a, you know, it's not as big a competition to him anymore, but we saw his emotions right when he touched. You know, he was extremely excited again just to achieve what they have together as a team.
Absolutely right, and those are the things that they can talk about for the rest of their lives. Whereas with your individual achievements, someone needs to ask you, but when the four of them get together one day, all over again, 10, 20 years from now, they can talk about that night in KL where they smashed the record, the four of them together. And that's what the beauty of the relays are all about. And they're all almost the same age as well, I believe. Danny probably the oldest in the quartet, Darren the youngest. So round about the same age. And really almost at the zenith of their careers, which is nice to see. We could see, I mean, you talk about Zheng Wen, he's usually very quiet, but he was unusually a little noisier today before the start of the races, trying to G his teammates up, and Joe Schooling before the start of the race giving high fives, especially to Darren, who's probably the baby, the new member of the squad now that Clement is not there. He was giving a high five to Darren and saying, come on, let's go for it right now, before he even took to the blocks.
Exactly, he did, right? So I believe this is Darren's first SEA Games gold medal, so obviously a very exciting time for him. He's got many more SEA Games to go. And we'll look at it. I mean, imagine him getting a SEA Games, his first SEA Games gold medal this year, and next year possibly a medal at the Asian Games.
Oh yeah, and it might not be his last as well, because let's not forget, I mean, even in the 100 meters freestyle, I know he's up against Joe Schooling then, but let's not forget he's got the 50 meters freestyle as well. And looking at his form today, the way he swam in that 4x100 meters, he looked in prime condition perhaps to attack and keep the gold medal in Singapore.
Yes, I definitely think so.
Malaysia with a fabulous last leg swim from the person on your right, Wilson Sim. You're talking about getting yourself in fine form for the games. He has looked that way.
And SEA Games champion
his second
with a new
medal of the meet. But here is the quartet,
Singapore,
the dream team. Well, name them whatever you want. They are SEA Games champions, record holders, and the future of not just Singapore but Southeast Asian swimming, and their hopes of encroaching into the Olympic Games and the Asian Games. Next stop, Jakarta, but these boys as a quartet, I am sure, are eyeing Tokyo more than Jakarta, because that will be monumental. That will be a real milestone if they're able to achieve it. And a medal at the Asian Games will just be the perfect start and platform for, as what Gerald calls, a possibility, a real possibility of qualifying for the finals of the Olympic Games. The chemistry is right there, all smiles. They love each other's company. And Joe, despite being an Olympic champion, still finds a time to hang out with his teammates, and he loves this brotherhood time together with his band of brothers who have won the 4x100 meters freestyle relay. Well done indeed, Joe Schooling,
Ladies
Darren
and
Lim,
gentlemen,
Danny Yo and
presenting
Kwa Zeng Wen.
the
Tomorrow,
2019
Joe
SEA
swims, of
Games
course, in the first race of the night, the 100 meters butterfly, the race that got him the Olympic gold medal, the women's 100 meters freestyle, the 200 meters freestyle for men, 50 meters butterfly for women, the 200 meters backstroke for men, and of course it ends with the female quartet in the 4x200 meters freestyle. We won it in the 4x1, and let's see if Veronica Shanti Pereira, who did